I'll be back on the road. Next stop will be Brownsville, Texas, where I live. Okay, wish me luck. I left the parking lot of Walmart that's on I-69 in Corpus Christi. It faces the highway, so it's very easy to get on and off. And now I'm on my way. Now I do make a little stop at the rest stop. I call it Sarita because that's the closest town it's located at, and that's where the Border Patrol checkpoint going northbound is. I'm heading southbound. Now there are some little towns along the way here, and some of these little towns do have their own police forces, and you have to be very careful here with the speed limit. I've seen numerous people pulled over, especially in Kingsville. Kingsville is a fairly large town, and it's named after a cattle rancher from the 1800s, Captain King. And it used to be, I think, the largest ranch in the United States. It was bigger than the state of Connecticut. So they do have a museum there. I've been there, and it's well worth the going. And like I said, with these small towns, you have to be careful because the speed limit is 75 miles an hour, and you'll have it drop down to 40 miles an hour in some of these towns. Say this is one of the small towns here that I'm going to be going through, and it does drop down. Now also you have to be aware of the signs for when the schools are open. They have a flashing light, and the speed limit even drops down even lower. So just be aware of your speed. Now the further south I go, the more bugs there's going to be. It's very buggy in my part of Texas, and you can't get around that. By the time you're finished your ride, your motorcycle is covered in bugs. And it's not bad. It's warming up here throughout the day. It's still not that hot. Around my part of South Texas, it starts cooling down after October 15th, and this is October 26th of 2020. So it's very good riding weather. We do have heat waves here, and this is why I took this trip this particular time of year, was to avoid the major heat. Now I did hit some major cold up in New Mexico because of the high elevation and everything. It got cold up there, and it was very windy in certain portions of New Mexico. That made the trip interesting. I hit wind in other places, such as in southern Arizona on Interstate 10. It actually blew me across into another lane of traffic a couple times. So sometimes the wind whips up and it catches you. It's not like riding in a car. And it just keeps on getting brighter and brighter as I roll along. You can see that the clouds are nice, and This is the typical traffic. Now, sometimes when you do this route, especially on weekends, on a Sunday, the northbound traffic gets jammed up because everyone is going to the Gulf Coast. Where I live, I'm close to South Padre Island, and a lot of people do go down to the island. They'll start off on a Friday or a Thursday night, make a 3-day weekend out of it, and they're all going home on Sunday. I've seen traffic jams because usually I'm going up north to vacation because I already live down in what they call the valley area, and there's no reason for me to be going back home when I am home. I'm driving southbound, and all the people that live up north are going northbound. And my wife and I, we once saw there was a traffic jam for miles, and that's all because of the people visiting down in South Padre Island. Now, another thing is they were working on the I-69 around Raymondville, and the traffic, they had it down to one lane. And now another thing you may get caught in traffic, I've seen it back up a few times, is at the Border Patrol checkpoint. It was so bad one day they had to open up a lane of traffic. They have a side road by the Border Patrol checkpoint where they can divert traffic through. They actually had to divert traffic and have Border Patrol. Well, they're not really Border Patrol. They wear the green uniforms. Immigration wears the blue. You'll have a combination at these places. Sometimes immigration will be there to conduct interviews or whatever. And here you can see now the traffic is light, and when I get down to around Raymondville, there's a major wind farm down there, so I'll be seeing more wind turbines in that location. But in a few places around here, I think they forgot to take the speed limit signs out. They had lowered the speed limits to like 60 miles an hour in some locations because they were doing construction around Kingsville, and I think they forgot to change them to 75 miles an hour. When I look at my GPS when I'm in my car, it shows on the screen that the speed limit is 75, but the sign says 60. That's another thing you had to be careful of. And like I said, I'll be taking one final rest. I'm really pushing it here. It's I think the distance from where I live to the middle of Corpus Christi is like 153 miles. And they do have truck way stations along the way. If you have a radar detector, they usually will set off your radar detector. They use a different band. It's not an enforcement band, but over the left you can see I'm passing the inspection station. Another thing you have to be careful of here is that even though the speed limit is 75, most people from other states they don't expect a speed limit of 75 miles an hour on a roadway like this, because there are intersections on this roadway. People can cross the road with their cars, and I've seen trucks, cars crossing the road, so you do have to be aware of that. Another thing, like I've said on other videos, is you have to be careful of wildlife. One time I was traveling at night with my wife. We were in the car. We were coming back from San Antonio, and I almost hit a coyote. It was eating something that had died on the roadway. Now here is the stop that I talked about. I'm just south of Sarita and just north of the checkpoint. So I'll be stopping here, stretching my legs, and then I do the final push. It's about 80 more miles to home. Well, I took one more stop. This is the last stop before I go. Take two. I'm here at the Sarita rest stop. It's further south than Sarita, Texas. It's here between Sarita, Texas and the Border Patrol checkpoint. Now the Border Patrol checkpoint, you only have to stop going northbound. I have about another 86 miles to go to get home. So this will be my last stop. And it's very nice here. You know, the trees are all twisted and everything. And they have this stuff. It's called ball moss. It grows on a tree, and it's like little balls of moss. It's related to Spanish moss. Sometimes you find it laying on the ground. Now, oh, here's some. Now, here it is. Now, that's ball moss. Now, some people, what they do, you can take this home, you tie it onto your tree, and more will grow all over the place on your tree. Now, I read up on this. It's not supposed to hurt your tree. There are some mosses that are parasites that will actually kill a tree, but not ball moss, and Spanish moss won't kill trees. So it's very interesting. That's nature for you. So let's get this show on the road. Oh, look at this. They have a big problem here with fire ants. Look at these fire ant mounds. Big ones. Yeah, look. I'll disturb it and I'll show you. No? Usually as soon as you hit it, they'll start coming out, huh? None in there. Let me see. No? That's odd. Oh well. When I hit the ones at my house, they really pour out. Well, I'm gonna get going here. My wife wants me home for dinner. It's 3:48 p.m. So 4:48. I'll be home around 5:15, 5:20, somewhere around there. Hi everyone. If I see anything, I'll take a video. It's mostly all straight driving down here. There's no hills, there's no mountains down here. It's all flat. And there's not much to see between this checkpoint and Brownsville. The next major town from here will be Raymondville. Alright, gotta go. Now I got back on the highway. Another thing I failed to mention is you had to be careful driving in this area. One day I was with my wife going northbound, and the illegal aliens that crossed the border illegally were making their way northbound, and they're trying to get around the checkpoint. So what they do is they cross over the highway and everything, and you gotta be careful because you don't want to. I don't want to hit them. They're not supposed to be in the country, but I don't want to hit them. So that's just a word of caution too. In this area, they'll actually. Here's the checkpoint right here. You see the cameras on both sides of the highway. It's facial recognition. They're trying to get a picture of your face, and they take a picture of your plate. It goes through the computer system and see if any criminals or wanted people are traveling to get to the border of Mexico. We get a lot of that too. They come to cross the border because you don't have to show proof at the border going into Mexico of who you are, and you get a lot of criminals that crossing the border. Now, if they want to come back into the country, I've been going to Mexico a lot lately for dental for myself and my wife, and one of the things is they take a picture of you now every single time you come back into the country. So it goes into a database. Big Brother is watching you. They're constantly monitoring down here. And it's just a part of life. I mean, what do you got to do? If you don't want the Big Brother to be taking a picture of you, don't be crossing the border. That's all. But I have a good time. I have nothing to hide. I get annoyed once in a while because I've been over the border so many times, and I don't buy the knickknacks, and I come back across and they look at me and they say, anything to declare? And I go, no. How much stuff can you possibly buy from Mexico, especially when you live on the border? And then the next question they always ask is, what was the purpose of your trip? Sometimes I've answered them to have lunch. I mean, well, what business is it of theirs what the nature of my trip is? I tell my wife sometimes I feel like saying none of your business, and it really isn't their business what I do. What are you supposed to say if you're a criminal or whatever? Oh yeah, I'm transporting drugs for the cartel. Who in their right mind is going to say that? But I guess they're like robots. I look younger than my age, and you do have people that do transport drugs. But the worst thing I can do is wear a fanny pack, because one time they look at me and anything to declare? No. And he's staring at my waist at my fanny pack. Oh well, if he wants to look inside it, they can have you open it up at the border. You're subject to search. You don't you don't have a say at the border. But just get on with it. I'm an older man now, and when you get older, you get cranky. What can you do? And after Raymondville, you do you come up into Harlingen, and I'm almost home. Up near Raymondville, they have a nice fishing community over there. You may want to check that out. That's very nice to go to. Now I'm almost into Harlingen, Texas, and you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen they have these huge buildings, and these buildings are for storing cotton. They put cotton in these large buildings. That's one of the major crops down this area besides sugar cane and sorghum. I actually saw them harvesting cabbage one time. That's highly unusual because cabbage is a cold weather crop. Now, once I reach Harlingen up here, it's just maybe another 20 minutes, not even, to get to my house. So I'm relieved there was no major incidents on this trip, and I'm happy about that. No breakdown of the motorcycle, which there shouldn't be. It's a relatively new motorcycle, but I was thinking about getting another one this year, but they were a little tight on the price. They wouldn't come down any further, and but I'm a hard negotiator, and it was still early in the year when I went there, so the riding season was just about to kick in, and I was there at the beginning of the riding season. Harley-Davidson is really limiting their inventory now. They don't carry a big inventory like they used to. It's a totally different game. So they want to tighten up the prices by limiting the amount of product. So if you're looking for a motorcycle, just be aware that they're not negotiating that much. Now, I already heard the 2022 models will be out around January of 2022. The last time they didn't come out until I think April of 2021. That was the latest I ever saw. Usually they come out with the new model the year before in August. They've always issued in August. But this year they had the 2021 models come out in April, and I heard the 2022s are going to be out in January. Maybe I'll go back in and try to negotiate a deal. I'm always looking for a bargain. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know how their overall, I don't know how their sales were. I'm in Harlingen now, and I'm about to enter San Benito. San Benito has the Harley-Davidson dealer that's closest to me, Mad Boar Harley-Davidson. Now they're owned by the same one as in McAllen called Desperado Harley-Davidson. And here's the water tower on the right hand side. That water tower has Freddie Fender's picture on it. He was a famous singer, and he was from San Benito, He died a few years back. And I'm in the home stretch now. Coming in. And I'll be passing Rancho Viejo and things like that. And I'll be getting off the exit soon. And I won't I'll let this go to where I get off the motorcycle at home, and I'll be talking during that part. Well, I made it back home, and I did a total of 3,531 miles. Woo! Alright, I'm going to be doing some editing and things like that of the videos that I did, and I'll show you, I'll post them. I'm going to do it in segments. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Please click like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Have a good day, everyone. Let the cleaning begin. What do you do after a long motorcycle journey? I traveled 3,531 miles, and what's left to do is cleaning. I got mud on the motorcycle. I have bugs on the motorcycle. Now, I've already cleaned this a few times, and you can see all the bugs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hose this down, let it soak a little bit, and then I'm going to clean it. I'm happy that you could follow me along on this journey. I had a blast, let me tell you. You really got to get out from the restrictions that people have. Look, go out, see America. It's great out there. Anyway, I'm going to go through the process of cleaning. Now, another thing that happened is there was casualties of this trip, and the casualty was my luggage. Okay, my tea bag luggage, which you can't get anymore. They went out of business. It ripped right here. Now, I've had this for 17 years, this luggage. Okay, so it served me well. What can you do? It ripped along the seams, okay? And I'll be looking to replace it. I'll do a video of what I'm going to replace it with and why I went with what I went with. So thank you very much for following along, and I'm going to get to work here and start cleaning up.